Hey there, and welcome back to Mass Effect 3. My name is Pete, and today we complete another episode of our Insanity walkthrough. In the last episode, we continued with the game's main storyline and rescued the Turian Primarch Victus for an intergalactic war council. We also discovered that EDI had taken a more physical form, and lastly, Specialist Trainer informed us that Grissom Academy was possibly under Cerberus attack. And after reading through your comments on that last episode, the decision stands. Today we will head to Grissom Academy and see what's going on there. One quick note at this point though, this mission features a lot of ambient dialogue, and I have done my best to play it in a way so that multiple conversations do not overlap. This will likely lead to me not getting in as much commentary as usual, but I hope you can forgive that.
Yeoman Fitch to the AI core. Cleanup on the AI core. Bring a vac unit capable of disposing of foam.
And so, with EDI now calling someone to clean up her mess, we can make our way over to the galaxy map.
Commander, you have a message from Major Alenko. He must be feeling better.
And that is nice to hear, but we are going to ignore that for the time being and instead plot our course. Our journey today takes us to the Petra Nebula, which is not under Reaper control yet, and where humanity's John Grissom Academy is located. Now, Grissom Academy is primarily portrayed as an Alliance school for young biotics, but it also teaches math, science and arts. In any case, it is likely under attack, so let's dock and find out more. Now, for this mission, Garrus will make his debut as a squad member, and just like Liara and James, we have access to a number of outfits here. And we want to pick one that improves his weapon damage while not looking completely ridiculous, and then pick Liara as squad mate number 2. Weapons-wise, we are actually jumping into this one with only the pistol for that maximum power recharge speed, while Garrus switches to the Viper sniper rifle with 2 attachments that both boost weapon damage. He also gets to use the Vindicator assault rifle instead of the Avenger, and we can slap 2 attachments on this one as well, for armor piercing and extra magazine capacity. In terms of powers then, we leave everything as it is. For all 3 of our squad members, we are waiting for the next level up to invest in their abilities again.
And there's the folks who answered the distress call, Cerberus cruiser. At least a dozen fighters on blockade duty. Not too many for us in a straight-up fight. They must want this place bad.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Let's hear it.
SSV Normandy, this is Kahlee Sanders, Director of Grissom Academy. We need immediate assistance. Cerberus is attacking the facility. They're after my students.
This is Commander Shepard. We're blocked on a direct approach.
I know. They've taken control of our docking base.
Any alternatives?
There's an auxiliary cargo port I could probably open.
All right. We'll come in by shuttle and get your students out of there. Joker, can you give me a diversion?
Oh boy, can I! Come and get me!
Keep the shuttle in position. We'll be back.
Alright, there we are, and with Cerberus' presence confirmed, we want to prepare for combat. So let's set up our hotkeys, activate our ammo powers, and then get moving.
Commander, I'm locked in a server room around the corner. Cerberus troops are trying to get in.
Get ready. I've almost got the door. Objective spotted.
First small fight of the mission here, and we want to use it to obtain 2 more melee kills, so the enemy troopers will simply be lifted up by Liara's singularity, and then it's time for us to display our skills in martial arts. And with everyone down, we can now talk to Kahlee Sanders.
Sanders, we're clear. It's me.
Commander, thank you. Admiral Anderson always said you were the best. And with Cerberus coming for my students, I need the best.
How many of you are there?
Fewer than 20. Most were sent home when word of the Reaper invasion spread. But a few volunteered to stay. Some are prototyping tech for the Alliance. Others are biotics. They've been training for military operations, working together as biotic artillery.
Now, she briefly mentioned Anderson just a second ago, and that is something that we want to inquire about. After all, we might be able to learn something new here.
You said something about Admiral Anderson.
Yes, we met, God, what's it been? 20 years ago when he was a Spectre candidate. I was there when Saren betrayed him. David saved my life that day. He's a good man.
He was on Earth when the Reapers hit. He stayed behind when I got off-world.
I hadn't heard. We've been cut off from most news. He's alive?
Alive and fighting. He's currently leading the resistance movement.
Good. If we get out of here... well, just tell him to stay alive.
And despite both dialogue options here looking more or less identical, one gives Paragon and the other Renegade points, so let's stick to our usual Paragon path.
A few months knocking over practice dummies can't prepare your students for war.
Agreed, but the Alliance needs every resource it can get, and our students are unique resources. They wanted to help. How could we say no with the entire galaxy falling apart? Hang on. I've been trying to get communications working.
This is Froberg. There are students trapped in Orion Hall. Cerberus has us boxed in. They're closing fast.
Damn it.
Orion Hall?
Back out the door and down the hallway. I can get the door open.
I'll bring them back here and we'll make a run for the shuttle.
Thank you, Commander. I'll stay put. With luck, I can regain control of some of our systems. I'll get the door for you. It leads to Orion Hall.
Alright, so we have now leveled up, and that is exactly what I have been waiting for. With Shepard, we can now grab the final rank of Combat Mastery, forgoing a 50-pound weight capacity bonus in favor of a 10% weapon damage bonus and a big 40% damage bonus to all ammo powers, which actually also extends to all explosive bursts from incendiary ammo. With Garrus, meanwhile, we can unlock rank 3 of Turian Rebel for an increase to health, shields and weapon damage, so far still fairly straightforward. That brings us to Liara, who is now able to reach the last rank of Pure Biotic, and since she is very often going to be the only Biotic in our squad, we can skip the squad bonus and instead grab that juicy 100% recharge speed bonus for Singularity.
Attention all students. Cerberus troops have taken control of this station. We have no desire to hurt you. Surrender, and you will not be harmed. Resist, and we can't guarantee your safety. Riley Bellerman, drop the barrier, now. Nobody's going to hurt you. The file says you're alive. But your sister, she's optional. You give us trouble, we'll find her.
Right, so that's what I meant with the ambient dialogue earlier, but you still saw it. We just grabbed an assault rifle upgrade and some credits, and can now attempt to check off 2 more melee kills for the Bruiser achievement. And there we are, although that was far from pretty.
There may be more nearby. Play dead until it's safe, then get to Kahlee Sanders in security.
Okay, but my sister Sean is out here somewhere too.
The Alliance has failed you. Earth has fallen. Fighting now only dishonors your family, your friends.
On the desk here, we can then get some insight into the tactical use of biotics, confirming our approach that also heavily relies on using Singularity against unshielded enemies. An SMG upgrade is found on the other desk, and then we have an instructor's log in the room as well, worrying about the students' abilities to use their biotic skills in actual combat, and also showing a certain amount of affection for the kids. All of that earns us a few experience points, but now it's time to move on into the next classroom where some action awaits. Now, nice thing about Singularity, we can use it through windows, giving us a bit more time here until the room is swarming with enemies. Those enemies then consist of Cerberus troopers and shielded Centurions who come in from both the left and the right side, but we can do something about those shields by blowing up a generator in the back, which quickly explodes and does a decent amount of damage to its surroundings. The rest of the fight is then fairly straightforward. Having access to Garrus's overload makes the Centurions much less of a threat, and Singularity combined with the constant spam of concussive shot keeps the enemies in check and us in control. Sadly though, there is no loot in this room, so let's keep going.
Holy Mary, can you hear us? We found your mother and father. They're safe at a Cerberus sentry. Surrender, and you can see them again. But we can only help you if you let us. Please.
The Eviscerator is a shotgun, by the way, which no one in our squad has any use for at the moment. That is a slightly different story, however, with the next weapon over here, the M96 Maddock. It might no longer be as powerful as it was back in Mass Effect 2, but it still packs a punch, is highly accurate and fires as fast as you can pull the trigger, so let's equip it and put the pistol away instead to maintain that high power recharge speed.
We would prefer your willing compliance, but this is war. If you do not surrender peacefully, we'll do whatever is necessary.
Stay back. I'll... Goddess, she's bleeding. Shepard, we need to help her.
Sean, can you hear me?
How do you know my name?
I saved your brother. He's with Kahlee Sanders at security. Can you get to her?
Yeah. I just need to rest for a minute. Thank you.
We have no desire to hurt you. Surrender, and you will not be harmed. Resist, and we can't guarantee your safety.
And since we just made a weapon change, let's also quickly reset our ammo powers.
Commander, I just got an emergency message from the students in Orion Hall. One of our instructors is with them, but they can't hold out much longer.
And that sounds like our services are needed. Luckily, we are very close.
Eat this!
Jack!
Shepard?
Everyone get down! This thing's out of your league! Shepard, keep it off us!
Alright, and I don't think I have to mention that the Atlas Mech here is the priority target.
These are civilians, Shepard. We need to protect them.
Coincidentally, the additional Cerberus troopers in the area are largely unshielded, so Liara can keep them busy with Singularity while we focus on the mech. And while we do that, staying in cover is absolutely vital to our success. You saw it earlier, one shot from the mech's cannon, and no, not from a rocket, removes all of our shields, and a second one would bring us very close to death. And despite using disruptor ammo and Garrus's overload, the mech's shields are only going down very, very slowly, but once they do, the fight becomes much easier. Now we are working against armor, and you saw how that goes against the Brute last episode. A few fire explosions should make quick work of the mech.
Get ready! More on the way!
Unfortunately, it looks like we are not done just yet though. However, these reinforcements are rather easy to take out, and with that Orion Hall is cleared.
Kahlee said she was putting out an SOS. I had no idea the King of the Boy Scouts would show up. Alright, amp check. Prangley, those fields were weak. Cerberus isn't gonna lie down out of pity like that girl you took to prom. Grab juice and an energy bar. We move in 5. Damn it! How many times did I tell you not to trust Cerberus?
Well, it's nice to see her too, I guess. And yes, these are 2 easy Paragon points here, because of course she has a bit of a point.
You're not telling me anything I haven't told myself, Jack.
Oh, you feel bad? Well, shit. I bet that's a big comfort to all the people Cerberus has killed.
As charming as ever.
Good to see you again, Garrus. It still looks like shit. Okay, right now, all I care about is getting my guys out of here.
Your guys?
Yeah, I guess so.
And let's grab 2 more Paragon points here. For some bizarre reason, it does indeed seem like Jack might be pretty damn suitable for her role.
I can't think of anybody who could care about them more.
Well, I had some free time while you were off playing hero. Alliance Brass knew I helped you. They offered me this. And apparently the students responded well to my teaching style.
The psychotic biotic!
I will destroy you! Drink your juice, Rodriguez. You couldn't destroy wet tissue paper.
Cortez to extraction team. The Cerberus cruiser is coming back.
How long have we got?
2 minutes tops, Commander. After that, there's no way we'll get past them.
Get out of here and back to the Normandy. We'll find another way off the station.
Roger that. Good luck, sir.
Shepard to Sanders. The students are safe, but the shuttle's a no-go.
Understood. I might know another way off the station, but I need station-wide camera access. Can you disable the Cerberus security override? It's routed through Orion Hall, so it should be nearby.
How does camera access get us off this station?
We need to reach the Cerberus shuttles. The cruiser won't auto-target friendly ships, which gives us a fighting chance to escape. Get me back the cameras, and I'll find a path to the shuttles that keep Cerberus from boxing you in.
Now, this datapad here reveals that apparently Cerberus has a list of students that they want to capture. Among them is Prangley, one of Jack's students up on the balcony.
Sanders, you should have access now.
Got it. The fastest way is through the Atrium, but Cerberus has sealed the doors. You'll need to disable the magnetic locks. The overrides should be directly above the door.
You really think we're getting out of here?
Of course we are. Don't talk like that.
Sorry.
And we'll actually spend some time here listening to these two have an interesting conversation.
So our teacher worked with Commander Shepard? That's pretty badass.
Yeah. Wonder why she never mentioned it. How's your amp?
Hot. I think I pulled a muscle in my brain.
Just drink your juice. You'll be fine.
You hear Cerberus saying people's names? They must have files on all of us.
What? Who'd make a file on you? Your biotics can barely lift 100 kilos.
Yeah, but at least I passed biomathematics.
When we get out of here, I'm going to the beach.
Which beach?
Ilium. Hotel Azure has a resort beach with waves and everything. Nothing but lonely Asari girls as far as you can see.
That's assuming the Reapers haven't hit Ilium yet.
You keep thinking like that, you'll die on the station. You gotta find something and focus on it.
Maybe I need something other than some hot blue alien women to focus on.
Hey, you don't go for Asari, you can, I don't know, it's a big galaxy out there.
I don't need something out there.
Well, then what do you? Hey, or maybe when this is over, we could get some coffee or something?
You sure I wouldn't be interrupting your beach trip?
You wear that green dress you wore at Holly's birthday party. You can interrupt anything you want.
I think I can make that happen.
I can't believe you and our teacher work together. With both of you here, maybe we've got a chance.
We'll be ready when you need us, Commander.
And now we can finally unlock those doors.
Got it.
You should be able to force the door open now. I'll get to the shuttles ahead of you and get a pair ready to fly.
Now, before we do that, let's have another chat with Jack herself. After all, it has been a while.
Hey, let me know when we've got a new way off this station.
And nothing too crazy here, just a few questions about her current role with the Academy and the students she is teaching.
I have to say, Jack, you look good.
Yeah, well, maybe some of your attitude rubbed off on me. I never had a family. And these guys... Anyone screws with my students, I will tear them apart.
What's so valuable about these students? Biotically, I mean.
Well, what's scarier than a pissed-off biotic attacker? A whole bunch of them working together. It's like a biotic artillery strike. Any asshole gets in our way, we rip him to shreds.
Here we actually have to make a choice. We don't get any morality points for it, but we're still going with the top, which includes a little callback to Mass Effect 2.
Doesn't that exhaust them?
Yeah, sure. But we've been working on conditioning, improving endurance. Whenever they complain, I tell them about the collector base, holding that damn biotic bubble up against those bug things. Ugh, I kept thinking, damn, let the Solarian handle this. He can talk them to death.
How are the students handling the war?
How do you think? They're a bunch of teenagers. Until a few months ago, their biggest concern was getting laid.
You don't think they're ready for war?
I don't think they have a choice.
So, all this talk about biotic artillery strikes.
It's great in theory. Maybe they'll get it together once they've seen some action.
But?
They'd be better off as support. Put them in the back ranks, helping with barriers and shit. I don't know.
Have you told them that?
No. They need me to believe in them. I did pick up a few things listening to your damn speeches.
Well, it looks like we had at least a bit of an influence on her. Good to see, but we are not ready to celebrate just yet, so let's keep going.
Stay close. We'll get you out of here.
Good.
And so we are now heading towards the Atrium, and with that, into the Lion's Den.
Everyone be ready. We'll go in first and draw their fire.
We'll shadow you from the second level and hit those guys from above.
Gives them some cover, too.
2 more Paragon points can now be had here for telling Jack and the students to stay safe. After all, we should be well equipped to do the heavy lifting.
Just time your shots and stay safe.
Alright, I didn't bust my ass training you so you could die now. Keep low, pick your targets.
Students of Grissom Academy, the station is sealed. The Alliance soldiers cannot save you. All they can do is get you killed. Surrender peacefully and you won't be harmed.
Asshole.
Damn it, they're messaging everyone. Students, switch your Omni tools to privacy mode so they can't track you.
What if they're not lying?
And another 2 Paragon points for rallying the students here, as it looks like Cerberus has brought more than just guns to the fight.
You've already held your own against Cerberus. You've been trained for this by one of the best.
Come on, Rodriguez. They're only asking nicely because you scared them in that last fight. So take your balls out of your purse and kick some ass.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go.
Alright, and so begins what is going to be one hell of a firefight. Our first order of business here is to make a beeline for the high ground, because we are facing an absolute abundance of Cerberus troopers, with reinforcements ready to arrive and another Atlas Mech backing them up as well.
Ready for action?
And not only do we have enemies approaching from multiple angles, some are actually spawning right next to us here. Luckily, we are able to quickly take out their shield generator and have access to Singularity. Now, for the most part, our enemies are below us and do not come storming in all at once. Still, they are present in dangerously high numbers, and they have brought some additional firepower as well. Nonetheless, the high ground gives us an absolutely critical tactical advantage over our foes, who can hardly hit us at all up here without making their way up the stairs themselves, which would leave them completely unprotected. As Jack is kind enough to inform us, the Cerberus troops are also receiving a constant influx of reinforcements, among them a good number of engineers, who should be targeted first whenever possible, otherwise they could set up turrets that can tear our shields to shreds in seconds. If you want to play it a little bit more conservative, the door that we came through can actually also be used as effective cover. simply staying inside of the corridor behind it allows for a fairly safe, albeit also pretty slow approach to this fight. One more good reason for the position that we have chosen instead, a respawning ammo drop right next to us, ensuring that we never run out of bullets and allowing us to play the entire fight with just the Maddock. Yes, I might have been planning this one in quite some detail. Now, as you can see, the waves of reinforcements have stopped and we can clean up what remains of the enemy forces, or at least what is present in this area, as we are far, far from done here. The occasional use of the tactical HUD is also very helpful in fights like these, by the way, as a quick glance at the minimap in the lower right corner can tell us whether or not there are still enemies present somewhere that we can't see. Liara's singularity does have a tendency to lift enemies into rather inconvenient areas after all, although it is nowhere near as bad as it was in Mass Effect 1, where enemies frequently got stuck out of bounds. Now, at this point, the only enemy that is left, and that we are aware of, is the mech, and from up here we actually have a pretty decent sniping position. Again, taking down the shields takes some time, but it looks like the mech already suffered some damage, probably from Jack's students blasting it with biotics. In any case, as soon as the shields are down, we can switch back to incendiary ammo and blow the entire thing up. This short line from Liara now signals that the area is cleared, but through there is actually below us, so let's get a move on and head downstairs. Around the corner here we can find another one of Cerberus' target lists, this time including both students Prangley and Rodriguez, as well as Subject Zero, so Jack herself.
Kahlee, we're in the Atrium.
I'm taking a back route to the shuttles. I'll meet you there.
Now we only have a few seconds to catch our breath here, because as soon as we open that door, the next fight is going to start.
Nice one, Prangley.
This time though, we are actually going to stay behind the door here, as there is no easy way for us to get to higher ground without the risk of taking considerable damage. And with Singularity and Concussive Shot, we can still reliably find our targets, even if they have decent cover.
Keep your damn barriers up.
Also, keep an ear on that conversation between Jack and his students, as there is a small storyline developing there that can easily be missed in the heat of the fight. A fight that is going well for us, by the way, at least so far.
Damn it, Rodriguez. I told you to watch your barriers. Prangley, slap some Medigel on her.
Now, at this point, things get a bit more tricky, as most of the remaining enemies are actually above us and therefore have the advantage. To make matters worse, it is also very likely that some engineers have deployed one or even multiple turrets on the high ground, which we definitely do not want to engage at this point as long as there are Cerberus enemies left who can also lay down fire, and so playing it safe is likely the best course of action here.
I'm okay. Like hell you are. Stay down. If you die on me, I will kick your ass.
And just because we are taking out a Guardian with Singularity here, yes, the Maddock is technically also capable of delivering headshots through the Guardian's shields, and we need one more for the achievement, but I don't think that this is the right time and place to attempt that. There will be more suitable missions coming up soon. Just like in the small side mission in the Cerberus labs, Jack's short lines of dialogue are actually also useful as progress markers in this fight, which you may have already noticed, as they are always played right after an enemy is taken out. What we just heard was also the final line from her, I believe, so we are nearing the end here. Of course, that does not mean that we are in the clear just yet. Again, one wrong move could kill us and we would have to start from the beginning, or at least the beginning of the second fight, as the game is nice enough to drop an autosave in between the two sections. And here you have a perfect example of what can happen even with only a handful of enemies remaining. Focusing on one enemy for too long can allow others to just get enough shots in to make things pretty dicey. Luckily, we were able to retreat fast enough and can use a medkit to get back to full health. The attacker is then also quickly identified in the form of a lone combat engineer who should not present too much trouble in a straight-up one-on-one firefight. Things do get a little bit more dangerous though with the surprise turret he has left us, But once the initial shock is overcome, we can approach with a bit more care and cover to eventually take this last enemy out of the fight as well.
Everyone okay up there?
Rodriguez took one in the arm because she didn't watch her barrier.
Commander, I've reached the Cerberus shuttles without being detected. They know what they're doing, though. You need to hurry.
And so here we are, with the most dangerous part of the mission behind us, although it does sound like there are still some enemies left between us and the shuttle bay.
All units fall back to the shuttle bay.
That's an impressive barrier, Octavia. Our file says you've been working on shield technology.
It's a handheld but multi-core solution based on cyclonic barrier technology, and it's pronounced Octavia.
Why don't you come out peacefully?
Why don't you bite me?
Your cousin Joanna is already on the shuttle, Octavia. Don't you want to make sure she's safe?
Bring her here.
What?
Bring her here so I can see her, you damn liar. Think I'm gonna take your word for it?
Okay, and with that conversation going nowhere, it is now time to engage. Once again, we are going for 2 more melee kills here. Let's see if we can pull that off.
I don't know who you are, but stay back.
I'm Commander Shepard with the Alliance. I'm here to help.
I didn't buy it from the last guy, and I've got no reason to buy it now.
The square root of 906.01 equals...
30.1.
Hello, Commander Shepard.
David, you know him?
Yes. He rescued me from Cerberus. Sent me here. He made it quiet.
You did a great job keeping yourself safe. The biotic students are up there. Stay close. They'll get you out of here.
Okay. Thanks.
He looks better.
I remember you. Normandy crew. Sorry.
It was never your fault.
And yes, David Archer was already briefly referenced in the last episode. He played a major role during the Overlord DLC for Mass Effect 2 and can now help us to obtain 2 more Paragon points.
Has Grissom Academy been all right?
Yes. I've been counting.
Anything in particular?
The number of days you lengthened my life. The security office. I hacked the lock. Guns. Lots of guns. Goodbye.
Alright, lots of guns. That sounds like something that we want to check out. First of all though, let's quickly retrace our steps to a computer terminal over here, which I simply forgot to interact with earlier. Following that, we can then make our way into the security office, where we can not only grab a sniper rifle upgrade, but also a second M96 Maddock, which actually upgrades our existing one to level 2. You might remember that mechanic from Mass Effect 1, where most weapons came in 10 different tiers, and that system has now returned, although the upgrades have to be collected or purchased.
Looks like schematics for amp interfaces. Not as good as what we already have, but still worth a look.
And this gives us another small side quest. Over on the left here we can also find a chest plate for our armor, and in the room ahead something rather interesting. Alright, it took a few attempts there, but we have grabbed ourselves 1 more melee kill. We are now up to 17 on the series and can read through another Cerberus capture order for Rodriguez, but there is no information here that we don't already know. Over on the side here we can also collect another med kit, and that is actually enough to allow us to level up again. So let's quickly take care of that, starting with Shepard and the next 2 ranks in fitness. The melee damage bonus at rank 3 might actually be useful, but we are still not going for it again at rank 4. Instead, we are opting for a 15% bonus to health and shields for a bit more survivability. With Garrus we are then saving the points until we can get Turian Rebel rank 4, and with Liara we have just enough to bring her warp to level 2, an ability that we have not really used yet, but I think it's best to be ready for when that changes. Now at this point we can also climb into the empty Atlas Mech here, and finally turn Cerberus's weapons against them. Using the mech for this next section is of course entirely optional, but I honestly don't see much point in not doing it. Not only is the mech insanely powerful offensively, but its armor is also pretty much a guarantee to stay alive throughout the fight, and I think we have earned ourselves the chance to have a bit of fun here.
On the double!
There's the shuttle. Head over 2x2. Crankley, Rodriguez, stay close. Shepard, watch your ass!
Right, so the first students are heading for the shuttle, but we have to hang in here for just a little while longer. We now have a large wave of enemies coming from that doorway over to the left here, but again, taking those out is hardly a challenge at this point. Inside of the Atlas, this fight is more or less a point-and-click adventure. Speaking of the biotics, apart from dying, that is actually our only way to fail this section, as the student's barrier, indicated by that bar in the top right corner, is of course not going to hold forever. But then again, as long as we keep the hostiles focused on us, that barrier is not going to take too much damage, not to mention that anyone who can actually damage it is generally not going to survive for that long. I have to admit though, during this fight I was at times wondering if the Atlas's armor is supposed to be this level of indestructible, because as you can see we have not yet lost a single inch of that yellow bar at the bottom.
Hostiles up top!
Right, and with that we are now down to the second to last wave of enemies. This time they have the high ground, but in our current position that is not going to make that much of a difference. There are also some shield generators up there that we want to destroy, ideally when there are multiple enemies nearby for that sweet area of effect damage. Enemy clusters, by the way, that is also what the mech's rocket is best used for. Against individual enemies it is completely overkill and it does have a few seconds of cooldown, but there are very few things more satisfying than wiping out an entire group of Cerberus troopers with just one well-placed blast. And with that, Kahlee Sanders informs us that it is almost time to leave, however, unfortunately not before we encounter one final obstacle. Yes, it is now time for the ultimate showdown, Atlas versus Atlas. However, this fight once again raised my suspicions that something about our levels of protection is not quite right here, because we appear to be taking absolutely no damage whatsoever, at least none that is visible. And I have no idea what's up with that, maybe you do and can help me out in the comments. In any case, it turns this into a rather lopsided fight that we are easily winning. After clearing out the remaining stragglers, we can then actually leave the mech. That brings us face to face with one lone and already severely injured Cerberus trooper, who we can use to grab melee kill number 18.
Okay, we're clear. Move your ass before backup arrives.
Following that, Jack gives us the all clear, but we can stick around for just a split second longer, take in the statue of John Grissom over here, and then also grab one last SMG upgrade before we finally make our exit.
Hurry, Commander! The Normandy has pulled the cruiser out of position. We need to leave now!
Kahlee, how's it coming?
Shuttles are unlocked.
Take the controls and get the students aboard.
Wait, where the hell's Rodriguez?
She needs covering fire.
She needs more than that!
Joker, we flew out on a Cerberus shuttle. Watch your fire.
Right, I've got you on sensors. Should just be a minute.
Thank you, Commander. We'd have never gotten off that station if you hadn't come.
Forget that. We kicked some ass. Next place we dock, you're all getting inked. My treat. What do you guys want? Ascension Project logo? Glowing fist? Maybe a unicorn for Rodriguez?
Screw you, ma'am.
I can't believe we got them out alive. I was going to suggest that they stick to support roles. But perhaps they're ready after all.
Okay, it's time to make a choice here, and with this one we are not only following the Paragon path, but also Jack's recommendation from earlier, which will turn the students into a slightly less valuable war asset, but it's not that big of a difference and it keeps them well protected.
They're definitely ready, but the Alliance needs them in a support role.
What? We trained for artillery strikes.
We don't need another artillery unit. We need stronger barriers for our frontline squads.
This is bullshit! Hey, if that's where they need us, that's where we go. Besides, I'm sure we'll get some shots in.
Commander, we've got a visual on you now. Preparing to dock. Hey Jack, now that you're military, you gonna wear a uniform, or are you just getting the officer's bars tattooed on?
Screw you, Flight Lieutenant.
What the hell was that?
Jack promised to watch your language in order to maintain the necessary professionalism we need from our teachers.
Does she have a swear jar or something? Because I bet if we empty that thing, we can afford another cruiser.
Cover your ears, kids. Hey, Joker.
Shepard, damned if you aren't a sight for sore eyes.
Good to see you too, sir.
Sir? I may have reinstated you, but that doesn't give you permission to go all formal on me.
Then I'm glad you managed to keep your ass alive, Anderson.
That's more like it. Looks like you didn't waste any time getting to work. I can only imagine what would have happened to those kids if they'd fallen into Cerberus' hands.
They're definitely eager to help.
These students are some of the best humanity has to offer, and we're throwing them into battle. God damn it, I hate this war. Hackett didn't mention in his report...
Kahlee Sanders is safe. She's with the recruits.
Thanks, Shepard. When I heard about the attack, well, I've already lost a lot of friends.
She asked me to tell you to stay alive.
Did she now? Well, thanks, Shepard. That might be the first good news I've heard this week. Anderson out.
And there we are, with the Liberator achievement unlocked and another mission behind us. And with that, I think we have once again reached a very good point to make the cut for today. In the next episode, I think we might be returning to the Citadel once more. There should be a few interesting things and conversations waiting for us there. At the very least, we have already learned that Kaidan wants to talk to us in the hospital. So until then, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me and my channel further, then you can go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, grab some merch over on shop.petecomplete.com, or check out and maybe even pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.